Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play with AK, featuring me, your host Akukami. In this StarCraft 2 episode, we'll be taking a look at a game I played on ladder. This is going to be a TVP matchup on Tal'Darim altar. Starting off in the 11 o'clock position is me spawning as the red Terran player. Meanwhile, my opponent sinhakuta has spawned in the 5 o'clock position as the blue Protoss player. I actually ran out of videos to post, and I didn't of games to cast, and I didn't post anything on Friday. I do apologize for that, but if I'm going to come out with a video, it might as well be a game that's quality, that has some quality to it, a game that is somewhat exciting, is back and forth, and I think this game that, even though this will have the Friday date, I did play this on Saturday. However, I think it was well worth the wait because this game was one of the most exciting games I actually played today. Starting off with that 10 supply depot, going to be going for that wall off in the front of my main, going to be coming out with that 10 supply depot, 12 racks, and another supply depot there to complete the wall off. Meanwhile, my opponent came down with his first pylon and sent out his probe to do some scouting as to where I am. Will be scouting me in this location first before coming here, and will be knowing where I am. I do start building my racks for this wall, but I botched this, and realizing this a little bit too late, I just continue letting my SCV build this, as I do send another SCV in this location thinking that there was a space here, and decide to close that off with another supply depot that was there. But as you're going to see later on, that actually almost cost me the game. Meanwhile, back at my opponent's base, coming down with that gateway and a forge. Why would you come out with a forge this early, I wonder? I think you know what's coming. Anyways, back at my base, not sending out my own SCV to do some scouting. Will be scouting my opponent in the clockwise position. And, ooh, did I catch that? Actually, I don't think I was paying attention at that point, as my opponent's probe stopped in this location. And what will he be doing? Or what will it be doing? Putting down 2 pylons in the front of my base, going to be putting them in the front of my natural, as my first marine will pop out. And will I catch sight of this? Nope. I don't know there's anything building here, as my marine didn't move forward far enough. I actually realized that this location might actually be open, and noticing this, I put a marine here just to deny any probe scouting. However, as I send out my SCV and my marine spawns in this location, I will be noticing the 2 pylons in the front of my base. But I continue with my build anyways, building the command center in spite of his 2 pylons that are there. And my opponent, yes, he's going for a cannon rush. Managed to kill off that building, the probe that was building all of these structures in the front of my base, and will be target firing these photon cannons as my SCV goes into my opponent's base. But I don't really catch wind of anything in there, as I'm busy trying to kill these pylons and these photon cannons in my own base, as I will hold off this aggression. And thinking that there might be some more aggression that might be coming, I decided to put a bunker on the front of my natural as I finish taking down these pylons. Anyways, back over in this location, moving to my camera for a little bit, I wasn't paying attention to what was in my opponent's base, thinking that there could have been something in this location here. I was actually thinking that my opponent put his structures here, put a pylon somewhere here, and maybe his forge in that location. But as we already know here, going back to everyone cam, he put down his forge here and is building a cybernetics core. I actually built 1 zealot, I believe. Yes, zealot hiding in the trees over there. And but after that failed a photon cannon rush, deciding to go for 3 more gateways, as this will now be a 4-gate rush that he's going to be attempting. Trying to check for any forges in this location, any hidden pylons or the forge in this location, but finding nothing, decide to just start shooting down those destructible rocks, getting ready to move it out into a 3rd in the future. Meanwhile, my opponent is going for weapons level 1 upgrade, as he's building these 3 gateways. Will be turning them into warp gates, as the warp gate research will finish, getting that 1 extra pylon, building another bunker in this location, as I don't see anything coming for a little bit, and I am suspicious, building a refinery here, as I'm not doing much of anything here in my base. I did manage to take these 2 refineries, begin harvesting Vespine from them, putting down some more supply depots, just continuing to macro up as my opponent sends out another probe into my base, well, into my natural anyways. Going to be finishing this bunker, not putting the marines in there yet. Just continuing to hammer away at these rocks in there, as I do send my probe out, my SCV into back into his base to do some secondary scouting, finally noticing where his structures are, and at that time I panic a little bit because I see the 4 gate and I'm not sure if this will be able to hold it off, as I don't realize that my opponent is starting to build some pylons in this location here. Yes, he put it perfectly in this location between my bunkers and my marines that are shooting the destructible rocks here. Anyways, going for a factory and a 3rd. I play a little bit greedy this game, and thinking that I'm probably ahead, decide to go for a third as I finally noticed that there are some there is a pylon and some photon cannons building in my base, but my opponent sends his stalkers out in time, and they arrive in time to support these cannons that we're building, and will actually have them finish these cannons, as I am continuing to build this bunker, trying to build as many defenses as I can, as I do realize that my opponent is going for a 4 gate on me and trying to do some damage to this bunker here, but my SCVs are there to repair it. I probably should have sent some more marines in this location so that I can deal with this, as my opponent warps in another round of stalkers, decides to bypass everything in my my defenses, as this bunker is left to get shot at. And look at this, as you can see right here, this opening, this botched wall off actually hurts me, as I realize that my opponent is walking into my base with his stalkers, and I use my SCVs to try and chase down these stalkers, trap them in the corner, do my best to pin them in there so I can start taking them down, using all of my SCVs in order to deal with this. Oh my opponent is microing as best as he can, trying to take out all these SCVs, as I do manage to trap one of the stalkers. However, he's forced to continue microing around my base and start killing off my my SCVs, as I get another stalker trapped in that location, manage to kill it off. I do go for a stalker and tanks. I do actually start building a siege tank, going for that siege tech, but it's not up yet, as my opponent warps in a round of zealots into this location right here. Do manage to take out those fleeing stalkers, as my opponent starts sending in his wave of zealots. Actually managed to kill one of the zealots, but he just ignores this and continues to walk into my base, putting down my supply depots, trying to take care of this as best as I can with my SCVs and my tank. And wow, getting a bit lucky here, as my SCVs surround my tank and I'm able to start shooting at the zealots, and will be taking care of this aggression, as my opponent puts down an expansion at his natural, as he warps in 2 more stalkers who are getting shot at, as I do manage to hold this aggression off, and my tank siege tech is complete. I put down a tech lab on my starport as I start upgrading my 3rd command center into an orbital, and I managed to hold off this aggression for the meantime, managing to take this watchtower in the meantime. Also, back at my opponent's base, not really doing anything, just continuing to warp in more units into my base here, trying to actually continue this aggression, as he knows that the wall is not complete here, but will be getting destroyed by my siege tanks, as he does manage to actually come into 0 range with this tank, manages to kill it off, but with using my SCVs again, and this one marine that gets killed off shortly, trying to take care of that aggression, and I do manage to take care of that as I begin to whittle away at my opponent's photon cannons in the front of my natural. And as you can see here, I will be able to hold off that aggression in front of my base, but back in my main, trying to take care of this stalker aggression, which I do, as my opponent's early aggression, his photon cannon rush and his 4-gate rush do fail. And I will actually pause the game right here, as the game does go on for a little bit longer, but I will split this into a part 1, part 2 game, as this was actually 2 games in 1, which I thought it was, and you're going to see what happens in the next part of the game, so please stay tuned and wait for part 2.